Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. In this episode, Netflix buys a game development studio, the Oxenfree Dev, which is Night School Studios, not to be confused with Night Court. This is Night School Studios. This is before they get to court. So they made the game Oxenfree, which and also After Party. I never played Oxenfree. I heard it's a good game. I did play After Party, which I really liked. But yeah, so Netflix is trying to get their toes wet in this game development. They used to, when Netflix first started, didn't they let you rent games from them? And they would send out the disc and stuff, or was that just movies? I can't remember.
Just movies for them.
Was it just
Gamefly
movies?
was the one that did the game
Gamefly
one.
did it. Yeah, that's right. So Netflix is trying to get into this whole gaming atmosphere. I just say Netflix, just stick with movies, and let's not go this route. But they're trying to get into it, so they bought in the Night School Studios developer, again, who's made the Oxenfree and the After Party game. And they're basically confirmed Oxenfree 2 is in development, is still underway, which will that be a Netflix exclusive? Maybe not. I don't know. But sure, I guess. I don't know. Netflix is fine and all for movies and everything, but just stay out of the game development portion. I don't want a big conglomerate like Netflix trying to get in there and squeeze their Google streaming service and their Netflix streaming service and all this shit with all these companies that can't make a game fly off the shelf. Google tried it, and now it's Netflix's turn. Amazon's tried it. They got New World that came out, and it's doing pretty good, but after their 100 flobs that they tried to push out there, they finally pushed out a Pearl, right? And that's about and who knows how long that game will stay afloat before it dies off like the rest of most MMOs typically do, right? And so, and unless they're the big names like WoW or Final Fantasy. So yeah. I just wish Netflix just stick with movies, man. You got your movies. You're making exclusive movies. You're producing your own movies themselves. Just stick with that. You got the market on that. Don't try to dip in your toes in another market that doesn't belong to you. Just stay out of it. That's my opinion. But anyway, Shane, what do you think of this?
Pushed out a Pearl. I don't know what to say about that, but I'm okay with it, Nick. You leave Netflix alone. They can make a game if they want. Who are you to tell them they can't make a game? Pushing a Pearl.
A gamer that tells them to stay out of my field.
I think Netflix is on their way to being more than just one game developer. I think there was rumors going around with some partnering shit going on between Sony and Netflix a while back. I think this is the start of something big for Netflix, but I think it will also flop. I really do. Good developer to start with, but I don't think I've ever played one of their games. I know of their games. I've heard of the company, but I've never played them. So I don't know. I worry about large companies buying up these game developers. I mean, you've all heard me bitch about that. So I don't know. I think if Netflix lets them be original and lets them do their thing, I think it could work out great because Netflix has been doing a pretty good job with that on their independent shows and movies and things like that. Just going nuts. Let people do what they want to do. I'm okay with that. So if they do that with game development, I'm more than happy. The problem is they're going to flop. I really believe so. I think Nick was right. They're going to Google it, Stadia the shit out of it. I mean, I don't know. And what are they going to do with the game? How are they going to put it out? Are they going to put it on a PC? Or are we going to stream it and play it with our freaking remote controls? Or, how's it going to work? Are they going to release a Stadia type controller? I don't know. What about you, Pat?
I have played both games. Oxenfree was really good. It's got this weird little sci-fi-ish, not necessarily sci-fi. I would probably call it, I don't know. I wouldn't call it sci-fi. It's more like, it's psychological. It's not a horror game. It's really kind of some weird little something's going on and you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're a bunch of teens. It's a point and click adventure game, kind of like, just like After Party. After Party, I think is, I think they're both good games, but they're like point and click games, so they're good games, but they're little known games. I'm pretty sure Oxenfree was on Game Pass, or not Game Pass. I think back in the day it was Games with Gold, because that's where I remember playing with it. So it's one of those things, the free games with gold type stuff. So, but I am 1,000,000,000% against streaming games. So Netflix can shove that where the sun doesn't shine. I'm not going to play it. Even I like Oxenfree, but I don't like it enough that I'm going to play it and stream it. Sorry, I just don't want to stream any games. The North American internet infrastructure can't handle that crap. We're not designed and built for it. And Netflix is going to go the way. If Netflix does this, they're going to sink so much money into it. I don't know if they could survive like Google did with Stadia. I mean, Microsoft's trying to do this crap too, So what are they going to do when they can't, when they can't make it work? Are they going to be able to bounce back from something like that? I mean, buy all the studios you want, make all the games you want, but just don't force me to stream it. If I want to play it, I want to play it locally on my console or whatever. I don't want to stream the dang thing because I am that petty. I don't want to stream it and have some stupid internet hiccup, which causes me to miss something or not get something or it lags out. I don't like that. So if they're going to make it to where you can do both, fine, I'll do both. But don't make it solely exclusively a streaming only game. But I don't care if Netflix dips their toes into the gaming industry. That's fine by me. Buy studios, pull an Amazon if you can, do what you can to diversify your portfolio, make games, make movies, have streaming services, but just don't make me stream a game or else I'm going to turn that stream right back at you. So I'm not a fan.
That pearl back in.
Right. You could take that pearl and you can get sunk to the bottom of the ocean with cement shoes with that pearl, So I don't know. I'm not like I said, I will not stream a game. I will stream a demo of the game, but I'm not streaming the whole game because I would just rather download it. I have this hardware for that reason. I don't need your servers being my hardware. I have my hardware in for it. So I guarantee you no game that this studio is going to pump out is going to stress my hardware more than stressing my connection over the internet with what you're doing. So I'm all for Netflix doing it. I'm just not for Netflix forcing me to stream a game. So if they buy this company and Oxenfree 2 comes out and it's just a Netflix streaming only exclusive, they can shove it. I'm not buying it, And what's going to end up happening is Netflix is going to burn so much money on this endeavor. They're going to have to raise everybody's rates to the point to where they're like, well, I don't know if Netflix is really needed anymore. And they're going to go crash and burn. I mean, I don't know how much money Google wasted on Stadia. I mean, that thing is all but dead. I think Stadia is on life support right now because they don't want to kill it because they've already blew so much money into it. And I'm afraid Microsoft's going to do the same thing with their xCloud stuff. But they did roll out a cool feature where you can play game demo. That's all. I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to play the whole game there. So I'm out on that stuff, but I'm okay with Netflix buying game studios as long as they let the studio alone do what they do.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the streaming crap. I don't want it. The U.S. is just notorious crap for their internet services. I have Suddenlink, which is dog shit and the worst customer service I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, they spend more time lying to you and raising your bills than doing anything for you when crap goes wrong. So I definitely agree with the streaming. I'm okay with them buying it, just like Pat. Nick, you're the only one who isn't, so you get to suck that dirty pearl. Nick, what is your big deal with it? I mean, you really are like, screw Netflix buying it. I mean, what makes you so worried about
it? For me, it's because I think the main thing is because Netflix is mainly a movie, TV show type, and that's what they base their company off of. And now they want to dip into a they want to dip into gaming because they just think it's going to make them more money, right? It's going to expand their portfolio and say, oh, look, we can make great movies and we can produce great movies and we can showcase great movies. And we can do also the same thing with game. We're just all in one encompassing entertainment hub. And that's my problem is like, no, you don't buy any studios. You're not that. You are not that. Like, right? Google's not that either. They figured that out. After they said, hey, Stadia. And then they go, oh, shit, we don't do that. We suck at that. Netflix is going to do the same thing. They're going to go, look, we make games. Oh, fuck, we suck at this. And everything's gone down the shitter, right? So don't dip your toes into something that you know nothing about. Leave it to the publishers and developers out there that know how to do this shit. And, you know, I mean, you're not going to see Sony or Microsoft or EA or Activision turn around and start making movies.
Horseshit. Right. What do you think Sony does right now?
Well, okay. Sony
I was waiting for you to pull that dog
Sony
turd
has
out.
a movie production company. Yes, that's completely different. But Netflix is putting it under its own thing, right? You
So
don't
does
have.
Sony.
No, Sony has their Sony movie productions and the Sony game development. They have two different studios for that.
So you don't
Netflix
think that they're going Netflix is going to separate?
Here's
it?
what's going to happen. Netflix is going to buy a lot of studios, and they're going to fucking shit them down the goddamn drain. And they aren't going to be worth shit in the end. And these studios are going to be hounding for money because Netflix doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what's going to happen.
Maxi Pad line 2.
No, I don't give it. I like studios. I like Netflix as a service, but Netflix as a company is a piece of shit. They're not a good company, and they're going to flush these. They don't need to step into that. They don't go into that game development. Right? That I just think it's a bad thing. I mean, maybe I'll be proven wrong, and maybe it'll be the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread, and maybe that pearl will be shining like someone just licked all the shit off of it. But I think it's going to be the biggest goddamn turd that Netflix has ever shit, and that's what's going to happen. So no, I don't find that Netflix is a good idea to go tromping in down the old gaming route because they don't fucking belong there. That's it.
I mean,
I'm doing this thing.
I'm a little bit with Shane because Sony did not start out making video games.
Nope.
Sony was like the group that started out making image sensors for cameras and stuff like that.
But I don't think Netflix has got the goal
VCRs
that Sony and them did. I mean, Sony's always been this big electronic conglomerate, and so is Microsoft in a sense, with the Windows and various other things they've done, right? And so it would be kind of a natural arc for them to go into that. Whereas Netflix has only been a streaming service for movies, and this arc does not seem. It's like Taco Bell starting to make video games now, right? And they start buying studios out.
Didn't Taco Bell make a video game? Didn't they make a video game back in the day?
I don't think they made one. They made a published one.
Yeah, I think they did like the whole thing.
Burger King definitely published one back in the day with
Burger
King and shit like that,
and all that crap.
But again, that wasn't something. It wasn't a route for them to go, right? Because they did it once and they haven't done it again. So clearly, it didn't work out for them in the end, and neither did for these other companies that try to dwell into things that they don't belong in. And I think this company, like Netflix, and I don't think Amazon belongs in it either. Amazon has had flop after flop. Besides New World that just came out. I mean, this is the first game that's really done any sort of mediocre success for them. But how long is that success going to stay afloat before that game goes down the toilet? Most MMOs can't sustain themselves, right? I mean, how many MMOs have we seen throughout the years where they just die off? The only big ones we have nowadays are like Guild Wars 2 and WoW and Final Fantasy and maybe like EVE Online, but that's because that's what all that company ever does is EVE Online, right? And so I just think that ultimately Netflix is just going to, I think not necessarily just buying games. I think for a studio themselves or for a company themselves, this is just a bad route to go.
Right.
That's
all right.
I mean,
because I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm a little bit halfway because both Sony and Microsoft didn't start out in the gaming industry. Mm-hmm. They both adopted it. I mean, Sony's only been in the gaming industry since '94. You know, when they came out with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So like I said, but I understand what Nick's saying. They're going to buy a studio and they're going to run it in the ground and then they're going to ruin both their businesses. I mean, but Netflix is a giant that I think a lot of people don't understand. Netflix makes about $25 billion in revenue a year. Does anybody know what Sony brings in revenue a year? $82 billion. So Netflix makes 1/3 the amount of money that Sony does. That's a lot for only having one business. When Sony is diversified. They make audio equipment, they make video equipment, they make optical storage, they make so much stuff, but they're in healthcare, biotech, they're in mobile devices, robotics, TVs. So they're in all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I can understand where the worry is. And yeah, Netflix they're just a streaming service. That's all they are. They got one single business, and it sounds like they're just trying to diversify a little bit. But, Netflix has diversified. If you think about it, they are no longer just a streaming service. That's not what they do. They produce and make movies and TV shows, and they hire actors and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think, I don't want them to do the streaming thing. I'm anti that. So I don't want to stream a game on Netflix. I don't want to stream a game on Microsoft. I don't want to stream a game anywhere. So as long as they can do it and do it right, and by right, I mean not force us into a streaming service. If you want to buy a gaming studio and create Netflix gaming studios, by all means, go for it. Make it its own separate conglomerate portion of the corporation, its own business unit, and go for it. But I'm afraid what Nick's saying is true. They're not going to be smart enough to do that. They're just going to be, it's all Netflix, and it's going to be, when the gaming studio is suffering, the Netflix side of it's going to suffer. And the only way they got a way to make money is we're going to start bleeding the subscribers dry. So,
yeah, I mean, I definitely understand your worries, but I think Nick is like far beyond what it is. I mean, Pat, do we want to knock the sand out of his man panties before or after this episode's over? I mean, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Netflix buying a game studio isn't worth it.
Netflix, and
we shouldn't be praising them buying one, right? We shouldn't be okay with it. They should not be buying one.
God.
Don't give them flack because they're like, or give them praise because they bought a game studio. No, screw them. Stick with movies and stay out of the gaming market.
All right. On our next episode, we find out what makes Nick just a little bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
What grinds my gears?
It's not a bad thing unless they screw it up. That's plain simple. We don't know what's going to happen yet. If it's a streaming thing, they've done screwed up. Nobody in this country wants a freaking streaming box, a streaming system, a streaming console, a streaming. Only thing I want to stream is in the bathroom. This isn't there yet. Stream? Exactly. We don't know what this is going to be yet. So, Nick, just relax, man. Take your pills. Take your pills. Rub your throat. Get it down.
I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt. No, just stay out. Stay out, Netflix. Go on. Do your own movie thing. Stay out of the game.
All right. Well, before this gets any bitchy,
before we see Nick leaving, running over to Shane's house with a baseball bat,
I said Netflix sucks.
Before you see the vein protruding from my forehead,
it's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing Netflix doesn't deliver DVDs anymore. We're else going to see Nick Office Space those DVDs. We're going to see Nick rent a bunch of DVDs. It's going to be an Office Space scene with him out in the woods and a baseball bat.
Oh, Lord. Who here's got a DVD player still?
We all do. You all have a PlayStation. You all have an Xbox.
That's true. That's very true.
It's not a DVD player. It's a
Blu-ray player, but it will play DVDs.
That's right.
But it doesn't play VHS.
Or 8-tracks for that matter. Or Betamax.
It will play VHS. You just got to push real hard.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think the Laserdisc is bigger than the console. Well, maybe not the PlayStation.
Not the PlayStation,
but the Xbox is bigger than that.
All right. Nick, do you want to count us out here?
Sure, yeah. Anybody else have anything else they want to say?
Yep. What's the old Night Court saying? What's their little tagline? That's going to be ours on the way.
I don't remember. It's been too long since I've seen Night Court.
I think that's about it. That's Seinfeld.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Yeah. Court's dismissed. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed my rant on Netflix gaining a studio. But thanks everybody for watching again. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit the bell notification to keep up to date with new videos that we put out. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.